If you're watching this, you already know something deep. You're not just anxious, you're not just stressed, you're not just overwhelmed. Something is running your life that you don't fully understand. And that's what we're going to uncover today, because if regulation alone was the solution, breathing, grounding, calming the nervous system, you wouldn't still be here looking for answers. I know this because I've lived it. I used to live with daily anxiety, panic attacks, and long cycles of addiction. And I've tried every reset tool, every technique I could find. Some things helped temporarily, but nothing actually changed my life. What finally shifted everything wasn't learning how to calm my nervous system, it was understanding what my nervous system was protecting. Since then, I've helped thousands of people move out of anxiety, panic, emotional reactivity and self-sabotage, not just to feel calmer, but to actually step into freedom and live differently. Here's the part that most people never hear. The problem isn't that your nervous system won't regulate. And it's not that you're broken. What's actually happening is that your nervous system is protecting an identity it believes that you still need. Not survival in the dramatic sense, it's identity survival. Modern neuroscience shows that stress and anxiety patterns are wired into the automatic neural circuits, especially the ones responsible for threat detection and prediction. These circuits don't respond to logic. They respond to perceived safety. Research on the autonomic nervous system shows that when the body doesn't feel safe, it defaults to a familiar protective pattern, even when these are the exact patterns that are no longer serving you. This is why insight alone doesn't create lasting change. The body stays loyal to what once worked. At some point in your life, your nervous system learned one simple rule, and that's it's safer to be this version of me. And that turned into a primal role that you've been living inside ever since. For some people, it's the vigilant one, always scanning, always anticipating, never fully resting. For others, it's the performer, staying likable, capable, impressive, so nothing gets taken away. For some, it's the fixer, managing everyone else's emotions to avoid their own. And for many, it's the I must be okay identity, never asking for help, never softening, never letting the guard down. These aren't personality traits, they're primal prisons your nervous system built to keep you safe. And over time, you stop playing the role, you became it. Let's now make this practical, just for one moment. Start by closing your eyes. Bring your attention into your body. Notice where you feel tension, tightness, or heaviness. Now ask yourself silently, what identity is my nervous system protecting right now? Is it the vigilant one, the performer, the fixer, the one who has to hold it all together? The one who can't fully relax because something might go wrong. Now ask one more question. What is the story I keep telling myself underneath the pain? And just notice what comes up. No judgment here, no fixing. And try and notice that sensation, that tightness, the tension, the urge to control, and realize that it's not the problem. It's the signal that your nervous system is protecting a survival identity. And notice how familiar this role feels. Not wrong, not bad, just known. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes. Come back to the room gently. So when you try to regulate, your body isn't resisting calm. It's protecting a role that once kept you safe, even if now it's costing you peace, presence, and connection. This is why resets work briefly and why the old patterns return the moment life applies pressure. not because you failed, but because regulation alone doesn't dissolve old identity patterns. And I know this can sound abstract, so don't just take my word for it. Here's what some of my previous clients have to say.
I didn't know how disconnected I'd become until I started doing the daily practices. Something in me just softened. I wasn't just coping, I felt joy.
But Gideon's method is just unlike anything I've ever experienced. In just a few short sessions, I completely dissolved patterns of overthinking that had been, following me around for decades.
I came to Gideon during a period of intense pressure. I was leading a company, raising capital. The Path of Gideon method gave me a structured way to let go of the beliefs that were quietly draining me. I now feel lighter, I feel more focused, and genuinely free to create from a place of peace.
Gideon helped me realize that the only block was the narrative I'd been repeating. And that single insight transformed everything.
I used to wake up with this tight knot in my chest every single morning. I thought that's just how I was wired. But after just a few sessions with Gideon, I had my first full night of sleep in years. I cried the next morning. This work changed my relationship with myself.
There is a way to let that identity soften, not by forcing calm, not by reliving the past, and not by fixing yourself, but by creating enough internal safety that the role is no longer needed. And when that happens, the nervous system doesn't have to fight anymore. If this video felt like it described you, not just your symptoms, but the patterns that you keep returning to, I created a 2-week guided program to help you dissolve the survival identity at the root, not just by managing it on the surface. Over 14 days, you'll be guided through a clear, proven process. You'll learn how to notice the storm as it arises, the anxiety, the contraction, the emotional surge, without being swallowed by it. You'll learn how to trace that storm back to its source, the belief, the meaning, the quiet story about who you think you are and what you think life requires of you. And instead of trying to override that belief, you'll learn how to dissolve it using breath-based, nervous system-informed practices and direct inquiry. You'll create enough internal safety for the illusion to loosen on its own. Because this isn't just about calming your body, it's about shattering the lie that has been running your nervous system for years. And when that lie collapses, what's left isn't coping, it's freedom. The ability to respond to life without the old identity gripping the wheel. It's structured, it's practical, and it's designed to create change you can actually feel. And if you prefer personal support, you can also book a complimentary consultation call with me. In that call, we'll identify the exact patterns running your nervous system, uncover the beliefs beneath it, and get clear on the most aligned next step for you. Whether that's through the 2-week program with clarity and precision, or receiving one-on-one guidance to address your patterns in real time. Nothing is wrong with you. If part of you feels calm and the other part feels unsure, that's your nervous system recalibrating. Most people experience moments of clarity. A breathwork lands, a truth resonates, the body softens, and then life happens. Old reactions return. Old patterns reappear, not because the insight was false, but because the nervous system was never shown how to stabilize the truth. Awareness opens the door. Structure is what lets you walk through it. That's what Awaken to freedom is. Not more techniques, not motivational. A guided identity shift built in a way your nervous system can actually trust. Awaken to Freedom is a 14-day guided experience designed to dissolve the identity your nervous system has been protecting. Each day follows a precise arc. You begin by learning how to notice the storm without shame or self-fixing. Then you're guided to trace the root, the beliefs that's quietly been reshaping your reactions. You don't bypass it. You don't fight it. You see it clearly. From there we can move into the heart of the work, where the false belief collapses, not through effort, but through breath, presence, and real truth. Once the illusion is dissolved, you don't go back to mapping symptoms. You choose a new truth and begin teaching your nervous system what safety actually feels like. And from there, the work becomes embodied. You learn how to respond to triggers very differently, how to show up without collapsing or armoring yourself, how to live from clarity instead of past conditioning. And finally, you anchor it. So freedom isn't something you visit, it becomes your baseline. This experience is for you if you're tired of managing yourself. You've done the work, but it hasn't stuck. You want freedom that lives in your body, not just in your mind. This is not for you if you want a quick fix. You're looking to bypass discomfort, or you want to have someone else do the work for you. This is experiential, embodied, and honest. Now let's talk about what changes after the 14 days. By the end of these 2 weeks, you won't be trying to regulate yourself anymore. You'll understand yourself. You won't be fighting reactions. You'll recognize them before they take over. You won't be rehearsing old stories. You'll be living from a new identity. Not because you forced change, but because the lie dissolved. And what's left is freedom. If what you felt in the free session felt familiar, true, or quietly revealing, then this is the container that helps it become real. No pressure, no urgency, just an invitation to continue where you already are. When you're ready, click below to join Awaken to Freedom. I'd love to see you there.